HorrorDeconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, but mostly on YouTube. Give us a like, share, subscribe. With your host,
Touch
Komp,
my butt. And my butt.
And today's film is
Dagon 2001, or Dagon La Secta del Mar.
what a movie to release a month after September 11th. Dagon 2001.
Did it really come out right after September?
31st of October 2001 in Spain. Oh, I guess they didn't really, in Spain. They were like, whatever. A boating accident.
Well, they had an attack in Madrid in Spain on a train, I remember.
Yes.
No one cared because we were obsessed with our own attack.
A boating accident, I'm sure in Spain they cared. A boating accident runs...
Well, I know.
A boating accident runs a young man and a woman ashore in a decrepit Spanish fishing town, which they discover is in the grips of an ancient sea god and its monstrous half-human offspring. Directed by...
Hey, well, that's actually an accurate description.
Yep. Directed by Stuart Gordon. Written by H.P. The original story written by H.P. Lovecraft. With a screenplay by Dennis Paoli, starring Ezra Godin, Francisco Rabal, Raquel Morono. Sorry. So Danny, why'd you pick Dagon?
The screenwriter wrote because Stuart Gordon, the screenwriter wrote Reanimator, From Beyond.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's
I
like I figured it would be good.
The thing on the poster, I figured wrong. The poster, it says from the creators of... Oh, no, there was... I read some blurb.
We're going to disagree in this episode,
It said Stuart Gordon's best film since Reanimator. Anyway.
I wouldn't say that, but it's not bad. I liked it.
No, I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was all right. Stuart Gordon, who left us last year in 2020, unfortunately. Have you seen more Stuart Gordon films? I think this is the third film of his I've seen. I've seen...
I think so, yeah.
I saw, obviously, Reanimator, and then we also saw, before the review, we saw that fantastic Repenetrator, which was a pornographic
Honey,
version.
I Blew Up the Kids? He was a producer.
He wrote the Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. And then
Hold on, let's look at his directing. He did Dolls. I think I've seen Dolls.
They were close to making a Kevin Spacey remake of that, but the Up part
it's just called Honey, I Blew.
Up was no longer in the title. It was Victor Salva producing. Anyway,
God.
I saw obviously. I saw 4 of his movies. So I saw obviously we saw Reanimator. I saw a movie called King of the Ants, and I saw it completely in Spanish.
Is it good? Is he Spanish?
No. It was an American film. It was just dubbed in Spanish. That was the only copy I could find for some reason. I was just like obsessed with seeing that movie for some reason because it's listed as a horror film, but it's like a revenge.
No, he's from Chicago. Yeah, I didn't think he was Spanish. Okay.
It's listed as a horror film. Yeah, I got an interesting thing about him. But anyway, it was like listed as a horror film, but it was more like a revenge film. But the thing that Stuart Gordon tends to do, I guess, in the movies that I saw, he has a Cronenberg approach to violence, as in the violence sort of looks realistic.
Oh, it's very painful.
Yeah, you're right. It's like realistic gore, because like when you see a David Cronenberg movie, like whenever people get hurt, even if it's fantastical, it looks realistic and like it's disturbing and shit, which his son also does obviously in his movies. But the other 2 films I saw were obviously this one, Dagon, and I saw why am I forgetting?
Did you see him in The Masters of Horror? I saw all of them at one point, so I'm sure I did. I just can't remember.
The other film I saw was Castle Freak, which people like love that movie, but I couldn't get behind it, which was another H.P. Lovecraft thing. So getting to H.P. Lovecraft, I was I couldn't.
His famous cat name or dog name or whatever it was.
What was his cat's name?
I'm not gonna say. If you want to know, look it up, guys.
Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft was
very racist.
Was a xenophobic guy, a very xenophobic guy, a racist, xenophobic dude.
I mean, he was a great writer, but a terrible
I guess
person.
I guess it's the sign of the times, obviously. But he was a nut job too. But married to a Jewish woman, go figure.
Yeah.
But I just started. I could have stopped laughing because once I even started opening, because it took me 3 times to sort of watch this film. Because the first time I was watching it on you can see it on Tubi TV, TUBITV.com, I think is the .com. And I just started opening the credits, and I just started laughing, thinking of H.P. Lovecraft, because he's like, he's like a guy who writes about the horrors of like.
Like I know all about all the the old gods and all this stuff through just hearing about it, but not actually from reading
I can't really say.
myself.
I did hear some sort of audiobook.
I've read like
versions.
probably like 5 of his stories, and they're really good.
Yeah,
but
he's good. But it's funny because I would just start laughing thinking about obviously his cat's name, which is N-word man, because it was just like to me the guy who writes about seeing monsters from hell, like or from another dimension scaring you, but will actually scare them are like Italians and Asian people, you know.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh because this guy's like pathetically scared of other races. And then I tried to actually listen to the story that this is based on, which is called The Shadow. I think it's Shadow over Innsmouth. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Because they have it on YouTube. Somebody's reading it. And, and I'm trying to listen to it because I'm thinking of it like, I was just trying to listen to it as a story, but you can't like think without the context of what it's in and what he really is like writing this about. Like he is writing obviously about a horror film, a horror story. But then when you think about it, there was a baseball player in the Major League Baseball called John Rocker, and he was like a guy who was like, he was in the Braves, and he was like apparently his.
I don't know the first thing about baseball, but go on.
Me neither. I just knew about this because it was in the news. Because what happened is they interviewed him, and he had a thing about the Mets, right, and New York City. And he said some really offensive shit about people. He saw there's a gay guy in a dress, there's a young girl with 4 kids. Like he was just insulting everybody. He said, why can't people? He's one of these guys. Like, why don't they speak English? How do these people get into this country? That kind of shit. So I'm listening to the Shadow over Innsmouth, and it sounds just like him, John Rocker's like thing. Because it just sounds like a random like white guy that walked into an ethnic neighborhood and was like, "Oh my God, this is horrible." So that that's all it is.
He was just going to the store and like there were people around him that weren't white, and he saw them as like horrible fish monster people.
Yeah, and that's what it like. I couldn't take the story seriously after. Like I'm gonna try to listen to it again. But that's what it is.
He writes some really good stuff from what I've read.
No, he's good. Like, I listened to the horror at Red Hook, like that one and stuff like that.
The Mountains of Madness or whatever.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Really
it's
cool.
great. It was just funny because listening to this one, it just sounds like a guy complaining about other people that he doesn't know their nationality of and that they're disgusting and they're weird and strange. That's exactly what it is. So it's different than his other stories, but that shit had me laughing my ass off. And it has Dagon in it. And not really known. He goes, why that name?
I think Dagon is actually like a real god. Well, a real god.
But also with Dagon, I mean, when they interviewed H.P. Lovecraft, what they said, he goes, "I want these Dagon Italians out of my neighborhood." I'm just kidding. But so that is obviously H.P. Lovecraft is a very what is it? A type of person that divides people, I guess. Like is a person, no, well, you know what I mean. But is a person more? Can you appreciate a person's art over them?
Oh,
as
right,
a person,
right.
So, which is, I understand that.
I always separate the art from the artist.
And I don't think you do, but sometimes.
What do you mean I don't? Name an example. I even watch James Woods movies.
Oof.
And he's a fucking clown of a human.
Yeah, he quotes himself and then puts a photo of himself on Twitter to make sure that his. Let's get back to this film. Dagon,
okay.
Which is one letter off of a epithet that I'm sure he used for Italian people. What is the story about?
This is about this rich couple, and I guess they're friends or the business partners.
Were they looking for gold or something? Like I don't understand what it was.
No, they were on vacation.
Oh, okay. Because they were millionaires.
They had just They had just made a lot of money through stocks or something, and I guess their business took off. So now they're in this old couple's boat
They're friends,
off the Spanish coast where he's from initially, and that's it. And then they get they hit a rock or something because of a storm. I guess the storm was created by Dagon.
It's Paul Marsh with his girlfriend Barbara. Like if my girlfriend threw my laptop over the water, I'd be like, I'm getting a new girlfriend because no fucking way you can throw my laptop over the water.
I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. But all the porn on there, wouldn't you be so sad?
And shockingly, it's all mermaid porn, ironically.
Yeah. But, and then we come full circle, literally.
But the funny thing is about one thing I wanted to bring about Stuart Gordon. He used to be a theater guy. Like he was director of theater and plays and stuff. So that's probably why technically the movie looks are like terrible. But he wanted.
You think?
The editing on this and the sound is horrible in these movies. They're like, when I watch a Brian Yuzna movie, like you can enjoy the movie, like Faust and stuff like that, or Society.
Yeah.
But they've got about $5 more than the people that make the Puppet Master movies. Like they're just like.
I don't know. I didn't get a big feeling of low budget with this.
Really? Oh, I totally got that feeling. Oh yeah, absolutely. Just because like you'll hear sound effects, like there's no like the sound effects in this movie, like a door creaking doesn't sound like it's coming from the door. It sounds like it came from somewhere else. Like you could tell, like they're like, hey, where's the stock sound effect of a door closing? And then they just press a button and play it as loud as possible. The door could be across the room in the shot, and they close it, and it sounds like it's right next to your ear. And the editing is crazy. Like the part when he's rowing the boat, and it cuts to a close up of his face, and his arms are clearly from another shot. It's just like. They shot a lot of stuff, and then they're like, okay, let's just piece all this stuff together. So it's like, I mean, you don't lose space of where the characters are and stuff like that, but you can tell they just throw shots in, like shots that don't need to be there unnecessarily. But whatever, that's just a technical thing.
Well, aren't you just so fancy? Oh, you know what? The name of the town in Boca is like the Spanish version of Innsmouth.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Okay, I didn't know why I didn't fucking just put that two and two together. But one story, because I was listening to an interview with the guy who played Jeffrey Combs on the Dana Gould podcast hour. He does like these Halloween episodes and stuff like that, and he was interviewing.
Okay.
and he said a story about how Stuart Gordon wanted to put on a play of Peter Pan with all nudity, but with actual children.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know what Stuart Gordon was up to. I'm hoping he's not on the Salvus side and was being artistic.
Was that like a
They never
joke,
let it happen,
maybe? Though. Like a dark joke?
No, they never let it happen. They didn't allow it to happen. So,
okay.
Stuart Gordon and Peter Pan. I'm sure Michael Jackson would. Oh no, but Michael Jackson's innocent now, apparently on Twitter. So.
Is he? Okay.
I don't know. Because his state wouldn't give him. All right. I love making those jokes though. So Paul is with his girlfriend Barbara, and they're on the boat of Howard and Vicky. They're all these rich people. I don't understand why they're rich. I thought it was because Howard is helping them discover something or something to do with money. All I know is that
They were just on vacation. That's
Paul is typing on his computer, and it's a... What bothered me too, because another technical thing is like you see an image of like the stock prices and shit, and you see him typing, and I'm like, but what's he typing? Like, there's nothing on screen that's happening, and that's another thing that drove me. That's like the little things that drove me nuts, but it's stupid shit to get mad about. So Paul and Barbara, Raquel Moreno, she actually is quite fetching young lady when she's not throwing, laptops into the water.
Yeah.
Her last job.
I would not be playing on a laptop if she was there.
You know what would be interesting if suddenly at the very end of the movie, you know, when they're lowering her down into the water to essentially be assaulted by this Dagon, if Dagon came out and he said, "Excuse me, did you just assume my sexual preference?" And then he like pulls several guys down into the water with him. Then like that
would be fine.
That'd be great.
That would be progressive.
So what is Paul? What happens to Howard and Vicky and Paul and Barbara?
They hit a rock, so then they have to go into this town to get help. But Vicky hurt her leg.
Right.
Vicky and her husband stay because Vicky hurt her leg.
And he has a Miskatonic University sweater on. So
yes, which is like the only university in this town of Innsmouth is like near. There's like two towns, and Innsmouth is one, and then there's like another one nearby.
You're talking in all the Lovecraft books, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to claim to know much about Lovecraft, but I like whatever.
There's a new Miskatonic University movie coming out. I think Yuzna might be involved, but I just saw the trailer for it, and it looked like a cheap version of From Beyond. Wait, okay. Stuart Gordon did that one too, right? Okay, so we saw that was 5 movies I've seen of his. So they're making a new one of that, and it looked just like... I mean, they were literally turning on a machine that brought shit from another dimension, which is the same fucking thing as From Beyond.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, so Barbara stays at the town to call the police or help or whatever, and then he tries to go back on his boat. A funny thing about this movie is, which while I was watching it, because I had no idea what this. I had heard about this movie and I saw pieces of it. Not enough to know what the fuck was happening. I do remember seeing the part with all the people in the pit, that area.
Right.
But I just was like, I don't know, this looks cheap, so I didn't watch it. This was years ago, like more than 10 years ago.
I don't know, man. I thought it was great. You keep saying it was cheap.
Okay, very good, Danny. Great. This is the Danny show. So then, I was like, I thought it was just like a weird cult movie, which it is, but in a completely different way. I thought they were trying to change him from the beginning of the film. I didn't realize it was like sort of a weird action movie or escape movie. But anyway, watching the film now, like, I don't. Did you ever get to play Resident Evil 4?
No.
This Resident Evil 4 to me is the greatest video game in the history of it. Even if you don't like video games, if you play that game, you will be sucked into that game. This is Resident Evil 4 the movie, like, because in Resident Evil 4 you're walking around
being chased around by fish people that want to have sex
you're
with you?
walking around a Spanish town with people just speaking in Spanish, cursing at you. One of the characters that helps you is an exact replica of this. Like, there's a guy who sells you shit. Like, he sells you weapons if you make enough cash or whatever. And he looks exactly like one of the Fisher guys that has like a mask over his mouth and a hoodie on. And I was like, holy
So which came first, this or that?
No, this clearly before Resident Evil borrows from movies and stuff. The Japanese, it's like Metal. If you look at Metal Gear Solid, the poster of it is just a redrawing of the guy from Terminator, Michael Biehn. If you look at the poster of it, so I mean, but if you play Resident Evil 4, you'll be like, wow, this is a lot like Dagon. So they took the good parts out of it. But Paul tries to go on the boat. He sees that the two have disappeared. All the people in this town, what's up with them? What do they look like?
They've got skin diseases, maybe. Something's wrong. No, they've got, they're turning into fish people.
They're turning into fish people.
You know what, though? Like, the sister, well, I'm spoiling, but the sister, I would absolutely have sex with her. Like, she was, even if I knew she was my sister.
This is upsetting and offensive.
Even if I saw those fins and stuff on her, I'd be like, it's okay.
They go full Pornhub towards the end with the half-sister fish girl wanting to have sex with her brother. She might as well have leaned into a washing machine and got stuck inside of it so you could fuck her from behind like all those movies.
Does that happen in the washing machine?
That's apparently a big thing that happens in porn now, is a girl getting stuck in some item and then getting fucked by their brother-in-law or something.
Oh God!
Their stepbrother.
I don't
think it's like a rape thing. It's just like sex thing. It's just
but why would you want to role play that?
It's apparently for those two people that acted out. There's millions of people that wanted to see that in the first place. So. She have a problem with the millions of people that want to fuck their stepsisters or stepmothers or God knows what else. Anyway, leaving that alone. So the whole rest of the film is essentially just Paul trying to escape the talons or the fishy claws of all these.
They're not very good at capturing him, I gotta say.
No, I was also thinking about that movie that we saw. Remember X-Cross? About the girl who's stuck on that island with all the people who cut their tendons on their legs and they have to like hobble after her. I hate that. We saw a movie years ago, and we reviewed it. It was about these two Japanese girls, and it was like two films at one time. One was a girl trying to escape a cult, and the other one was a girl trying to escape a girl with giant scissors and a baby doll dress. And then
I have no fucking clue.
It was a fantastic movie, and then at the end, both stories converge. So it's both girls trying to escape the cult and a crazy girl with giant scissors trying to kill them. It was a fantastic movie. It's called X-Cross. Japanese movie. Great.
Was it actually fantastic or was it
I loved it. I think you liked it also because of how bizarre it was. You should actually probably rewatch it. I think you'd like it. But apparently not because you forgot about it. But it has that whole cult. I like the idea of the cult, and I actually did like because Paul ends up running into this old. Also there's this cool, interesting scene, but it's too short for my liking. Of when he's trying to escape them from the hotel. He goes to this hotel. I think it was called Gilman or something in the book, which is like right over the head, knock you over the head with what it means. And he's trying to escape the hotel.
Oh, I see, Gilman. Yeah, yes. Okay.
And there was you got it faster than I did in Boca. But why didn't you just call it? I guess because it's Spanish, they couldn't call it Innsmouth. But fantastic location, by the way. Like, beautiful looking location from the beginning.
Yeah.
But everything you can tell right after is like a set. Like, they just did close-ups and everything. But still, great idea for a location. Like, I hope they use that location for more places.
I would like to go there. Like,
yeah, it's really nice.
It was filmed.
You should check out where it is. You're around there somewhere.
I'm not allowed to leave Madrid.
Oh, that's right. Anyway, he meets this old man who apparently was a very famous actor, because I knew of his name, but I don't think I.
Oh yeah. He died, I guess, because
he
they
died
did
right
like
after.
a thing.
I think he did 3 or 4 movies after. Francisco Raval was a name that I know. I don't know if I've ever. I don't think I've ever seen any of his films, but apparently he's like a humongous like Spanish actor, and he was good. Like he was probably the best actor in this, because this movie wasn't full of good actors, and maybe he wanted to buy a new gold watch or something, and that's why he was in here and he was at home. But he was like he was in a lot of films, and he was good. He was playing this town drunk, who's also in the Shadow of Innsmouth storyline. But I only got into like the first 20 minutes of that.
So they let him stay alive because he's just a drunk, crazy
person. Nobody would believe him, which to me doesn't make any fucking sense. But I did like his flashback. And it was a nice little edit when he's turning into a little boy, and they show his story about the town being taken over by all these crazy people. I gotta wonder, because Spanish people are very religious. Like I could imagine the scenes because even I.
Well, you know what? The ones I've met aren't at all, but probably like old school in like a town like that are, I would imagine.
Okay, yeah, because I was like picturing, even I had like a jolt because I went to Catholic school and had.
When they were breaking the statues.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. But even I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is just a statue. But I could imagine.
It was fun to hear all the Spanish and try to like understand what they were saying.
Yeah, there was no subtitles, right? Because I was watching it on Tubi.
No, there were no subtitles.
The subtitles for them was in Spanish. And I was like, okay. I mean, I understood what they were saying, but it's like a European Spanish.
Yeah, the subtitles for them were in Spanish, but the spelling was wrong because it was like phonetic. Right. So I was, right. So I had to like figure it out on my own.
Because their Spanish was different from how I speak Spanish or try to speak Spanish. So it was like a very European
Spanish is like more hard, I think.
Yeah, and they have that. Is it a Castellan or is that a completely different type of?
Yeah, I think so. I'm stupid.
Well, they spoke with
I think that's it. The official.
They spoke with the lisps and all that stuff, so that's definitely
Vosotros.
Spanish.
They have vosotros.
But but that was a cool, interesting thing with that evil fisherman with eyeliner, who walked in and then he became like a head priest or something, and he destroyed the town, and he killed that kid's parents, and I guess they decided to leave the kid alive all that time after, like they wouldn't think he would try revenge or something, and apparently he didn't. He just got drunk from then on.
Yeah.
They prayed to Dagon.
How would they? I mean, how would they get everybody turned into fish officially? Like officially, get it?
I think those were the children of the original women on the island that Dagon raped or something, and then they just got birthed into fish people. So I don't know actually, because the guy.
Okay, so they don't become fish slowly.
No, I think
as
they do.
Like,
I think they might do, because remember the guy. They said that he looked, well, maybe not. I think they are children of these fish people, because that guy looked like a. At the end, the girl's father, the princess's father. I'm gonna call her princess. I don't know what the fuck she is, but her father. She said, "Oh, he was a beautiful man," you know, and then he turned into a really good effect, whatever that fucking fish monster he was at the end.
Yeah.
So he turned.
I liked
into
his
that.
voice too.
Yeah, he turned into that, so I assume he was the child of a Dagon, you know what I mean? So I think they just take those people. I don't know if they turn regular people into fish people or something. I don't think so. I'm not sure. It's not really like clear of what that is. All I know is that Dagon's having sex with
I mean, okay. Yeah,
okay,
I don't know.
Fascinating conversation.
No, I was wondering what the significance is of taking their faces off, because they're not wearing them.
I think they're doing. Yeah, I know. They did. Yeah, at the end you see them. They're wearing people's faces on the cult people at the end. I don't know what
is it. Yeah. What am I saying? Actually, I'm stupid. Okay. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
I don't know why they're wearing.
That's dumb.
I assume that's part of some sort of ritual for Dagon. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's a cool visual, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. The whole movie doesn't. Well, I guess it does make sense because it's
I think it makes sense. Yeah, for the movie.
So the people's faces getting chopped off doesn't make any sense, and that was a great fucking effect when they cut the old man's face off.
God, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was really good because it looked like I've seen one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I was actually like holding my hand out trying to like block it, but I forced myself to watch it. You know.
One of the worst things I'd ever seen in real life is like.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, a couple years. It was like a dog market
No, I'm not listening.
They pulled the dog's skin off while it was alive, and it was alive without skin. Like it was just standing there, and I
my headphones out of my ears.
I felt so bad for that fucking dog, and that's what this guy looked like. And like I don't understand how you could do that. Like kill the animal first before you fucking skin it alive. Jesus.
Yeah, I heard this. I heard this story once.
But anyway,
from you. It's horrible.
Or it was a raccoon. It was one of those things. But anyway, back to this.
Okay, raccoons are better than dogs, so that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's preferable to a dog.
Well, anyway, go on. So horrible. But the acting in this movie. Oh boy.
I didn't think it was that bad. You really
I didn't think
like
it was that good. No, I liked it.
It wasn't that good, but it wasn't that bad.
I thought it was a fine movie. I thought it was in. How do I say this? It's in line with the rest of Stuart Gordon's films. Like Reanimator's still the best one he did.
From Beyond, I think is better than this.
Yeah,
probably.
no,
but From Beyond and this
are
like. But the
thing is,
like,
you look at the acting of what's his name in From Beyond and Reanimator, Jeffrey Combs. Like he has this sort of theatricality to him, and it's fun. But it's like acting, like he's actually acting. Like this Ezra Godin, they should have just put fucking Jeffrey Combs as this character because this guy was like, I don't know, maybe because they had to dub.
He was alright.
Everybody's voices seemed like they were dubbed.
Here.
Huh?
There are two possibilities.
Yeah, I know. And this guy had magic glasses up until the last scene of the movie because his glasses never broke until the last final scene. Like it's when he gets attacked by that octopus man with the annoying little kid. Oh,
so is he just completely like, that annoying little kid? Damn it! And that kid was like a human.
But he was gonna turn into a fish person eventually. I'm sure of it because he took a while to turn into a fish person.
So, like, now the main guy, Paul, when he falls in the water after being on fire, he's just now a full fish thing.
Yeah, it was like a weird version of Splash. You know, with Tom Hanks? You know, when he goes into the water with that girl at the end? And
I actually never saw it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember, the funny thing with Disney was Splash, because it's like a movie about it's this beautiful woman, I forget her name. She was the girl with the eye patch in Kill Bill, the bad guy.
And the 50-foot woman,
Go look up her name. But there's a scene, because she was naked in it, there's a scene where you see her butt, because she's like walking out of the water.
Daryl
Hannah walks out of the water, and you see her rump. And Disney, what they did, because Disney, is for some reason they can't have any bad things on Disney Plus, they digitally added hair to her. So it looks like she has hair growing out of her ass.
They have violent films on Disney Plus. What are you talking about?
It's America. You can see people blow up. You can't see like a butthole or anything like that. Remember?
Oh my god.
So you can look it up if you Google Splash Disney Plus real quick and look at the image of what they do. She looks like she has Chewbacca's ass. But back to this. Yeah. So it's a very strange ending where he burns himself. Jumps into the water, and then his girlfriend is like, or his sister girlfriend is like,
Disney Plus's butt cover-up hides a much bigger problem.
Do you see that? Did they show the image? Because it's pretty funny. But so he jumps into the water, and then he's like, oh, okay, my girlfriend got her fucking arms torn off and killed underwater. All right, you know what? It's okay. I'll stay with my sister girlfriend. She's very pretty.
What do you mean? He sets himself on fire.
I know.
Oh yeah, wow. What the hell is wrong with her butt?
But I'm saying underwater when he's with the princess. Now he's fine.
I think he was just fully brainwashed at that point. I don't know.
How do you get brainwashed in 5 seconds like that?
I don't know, man. Look at that butt. What is happening here?
That's what Disney thought was great. They thought
they have more money than fucking God, and that's the hair that they CGI'd on. They couldn't have just. I could do a better job. They
they got a lot of money, so maybe they outsourced it to a cheap graphics company. But so at the end, he was just like, cool. He was like, all right, fine, whatever. Okay. I did like Vicky, because Vicky was sort of just there for 5 seconds. But then when she decided to disembowel herself, I thought that was pretty tough. Like, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore. I thought she was the mom from Pet Sematary at first, but it's not. It's somebody else.
That's the lady from Star Trek.
Okay.
Boy, I did not like that first movie. That fucking Pet Sematary was people love that movie.
You don't like Pet Sematary?
Yeah, go listen to our episode. I know you don't listen to our show, but
I do sometimes. But what the hell? How could you not like it? What's wrong with you?
But it's easy. You see the movie and you can see how bad it was.
God, you shouldn't be reviewing movies. You should be getting punished.
But what were things that didn't work for you with this movie, since you think it's the greatest movie of all time?
I don't think it's the greatest.
Yes,
I mean, it was a little low budget, and like The acting wasn't that great.
A budget shouldn't, affect how you feel about a movie. I know it's so.
The acting wasn't that good. The acting wasn't that good, and there was a little too much running around in circles from these people chasing you for like. They could have cut out like 15 minutes of that.
There's a game called the Call of Cthulhu where I think they took from all of H.P. Lovecraft's books and made it into this computer game. And there's a really cool. I was just watching gameplay of it, and there's like a cool like 20-minute scene where you're in. I guess you're in this town, and you have no weapons or anything, and you just have to escape just hordes of people breaking into your hotel. So you have to like get out. You have to get on the roof.
It's based on this movie specifically?
No, not this movie, but on the books, on all of H.P. Lovecraft's books. So I guess they tied them all together into one video game or something. But it's such a like I was watching it going, geez, like I was getting scared watching that shit.
Yeah, to play in a video game would be one thing, but to watch it for like they could have cut.
And
some
they do
of
it so
out.
Shortly because I mean like they could have made it more interesting, the escape stuff, because you could tell it was just like, all right, let's get this shot, let's get that shot, let's not do anything really interesting. Because the camera doesn't move. It's mostly like the cameras are stuck in one location, and you can't really shoot an action scene like that if the cameras are just fucking stuck. You could do run and gun and running around with the camera work and stuff like that, but it's not. It's just like they planted the camera, so it's harder to do a chase scene like that unless it's like Jason Bourne, because Jason Bourne will be a completely different fucking movie if one camera stayed in an area while he ran off and you don't see him in the fucking background, So they could have done that a lot better. Like,
so is he gonna be immortal? Because I didn't realize fish were immortal.
They are. A weird thing that I heard is that did you know crabs are immortal? Like
no, lobsters. I heard.
I heard it was crabs, but
they don't age.
Yeah, like they only die because of predators or whatever other reason. Because their cell structure or whatever does not like age, so they can literally stay like that forever, unless assholes like us breaking them up and making them into crab sticks, which are delicious.
Okay, well, wait, hold on.
With tartar sauce and deep fried.
Biological immortality. Contrary to popular belief, lobsters are not immortal. Hold on.
Look up crab then.
Okay. Well, keep talking.
Unless I got some bad information, but yeah, crabs. So you take some lemon sauce. You take crab stick. You go to a local fish
Ocean quahog clam can live 507 years.
Well, it's like a turtle. Turtles can live like 200 to how many years?
A rockfish, an urchin, a turtle. Darwin's tortoise only died like recently, apparently.
Okay, are crabs immortal? And they are not immortal, but most like decapod crustaceans, which also include crayfish and shrimp, they have indeterminate. What did I say?
It's just funny that this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know, but it's more interesting than the movie. Indeterminate growth. That means they don't reach a set size limit in their lifetimes, continuing to grow until they die of natural causes or are killed. Okay, so they do die.
Idiot.
Idiot. You're an idiot. You're so stupid.
You're stupid.
But I do like, there's something about Stuart Gordon's films that I like about them. Like, I can't put my finger on. Right.
They're enjoyable.
Right. It's like he sticks to a little story, and he gets from point A to point C. You know what I mean? It's just like, or point A to point B, whatever the fuck you want to say the phrase. But that doesn't mean they always work. But at least it's interesting in what he does. Like Castle Freak. Like Castle Freak was just what's his name? That actor from the Doctor, whatever his name is. He's like walking around because like this weird like creature man is inside this house that they inherited, and it just didn't work for me. You know what I mean? It's just whatever, but it was still nice to see the locations and shit. Like I say, with these Brian Usna movies, they've only got $10 more than fucking what's that horrible company that makes the fucking Puppet Master movies?
New Full Moon or whatever.
Full Moon, right? The Full Moon, where they could make a movie every 5 seconds. But here it seems like they got a little bit more going for them. Like, the reason I can't forgive Full Moon is that the most interesting aspect of their Puppet Master films was the stop-motion animation, and there's nobody's going to pay stop-motion animation anymore because that takes too long. Like, if you look at stop-motion animation...
I mean, those movies are horrible.
You love those Puppet Master movies.
No, not Puppet Masters. Not Puppet Masters. All the other ones they've made are just
you mean
like terrible.
Evil Bong meets
Evil Bong, that clown Killjoy, like all of them. They're
oh my
bad.
God, I forgot
they're
about
bad
Killjoy.
Movies.
I won't bother watching any more Killjoy movies because Killjoy is no longer played by a black guy, so there's no point.
Played by a white guy dressed as a clown dressed as a black guy wearing white
Well,
face.
Killjoy was black in the first one. He was an actual, I think, African-American actor in the first movie, and then they turned him into a white actor in the rest of the movies for some weird
why?
reason.
He's supposed to be
racist.
a black clown. Isn't he? Like, isn't that the thing? Like,
those movies can't be. You
horrible.
can't comprehend how bad a Killjoy.
We should talk. We should finish this episode.
So, what are the good things for this movie with you? With
it's fun, and I think that the like designs of the fish people are really cool. The deep ones or whatever are really cool, and I like the story. It's cool. Like I love cult stuff like this, and. Yeah, and I'm curious where they go in the end, where they swim to.
I will say, Stuart Gordon, he did some movies of note later on. He did a Christopher Lambert future movie called Fortress that people love, which is about a space prison and him trying to break out, and then him probably saying mortal men and women have to fight for Mortal Kombat. Anyway, and then also he made a movie called Stuck, which was based on a true story, but. In Stuck, let me just say this, it's because it's a Stuart Gordon film. There's a real story of this fucking woman that drove and hit a homeless man, and he went through her windshield, right? Instead of going to get help, instead of going to the cops, because I think she was drunk for some reason, she drove into her garage, closed the door in her garage, and left them to die. The guy just fucking died. Can you imagine, you're just... I hope it sounds terrible, but I hope the guy wasn't, conscious during that. But anyway, but it was days after he died. So he made a movie called Stuck with the same premise, but with a probably more interesting ending. And that looks cool. And then he also apparently did a movie with William H.
Well, that's also in Creepshow 2. Creepshow 2.
Well, that was great though, with Stephen King.
That asshole gets her karma.
Stephen King saying some racist shit. Looks like a black guy. What the hell is that about?
Wait, was he in the second one saying that? I don't remember.
He was the truck driver, and he says that line for no reason.
Oh God!
Stephen King has an obsession with a weird obsession with African Americans. But then also Stuart Gordon made a movie called Edmund. When it has William H. Macy, so that at least has to be good because William H. Macy is pretty good. Anyway, so I thought the good aspects of this. I love the fucking setting of it. I liked everything that obviously Resident Evil 4 liked because it's all throughout this movie with people running around and monsters and shit. I didn't think it was gonna be an action, sort of weird action movie or an escape film. The fish priest guy, he was a good actor. The guy that was the Spanish dude who was an asshole priest. I liked him. Not the one from the flashback. I'm talking about the guy who was in modern time. He was cool. The old man was cool. The girlfriend, because the character was such an asshole in the beginning, I kind of warmed up to her because she was a pretty good actor for her character.
The girlfriend?
Yeah, Barbara. You didn't like Barbara? You thought she was a bad actor?
No, I liked her.
Yeah, she was good. The main guy, I don't know, it's just the writing or whatever.
He wasn't the best actor.
He reminded me of Simon Rex. I don't know if you remember who that actor is. He's this wacky actor who ended up being in some of the scary movies. He was in gay porn before he began into mainstream, but I guess it was straight gay porn because I think it was just videos of him jerking off for gay guys to watch.
Oh, okay.
And then he broke into the big time. They were like, "Hey, Simon, what's up with these videos?
Well, you want to put away your dick and try to be in my movie?"
Imagine that's just constantly Industrial Light and Magic have to digitally build him a body that's not showing him jerking off on screen.
Right, because that's in his contract that he has to jerk off.
He'll move his head.
He has a Scream Queen fluffer.
He moves his head to the left and it looks like The Exorcist because the CGI is wrong. Anyway, I didn't think we would have this much material for this episode. So I do like it. H.P. Lovecraft is a quote-unquote, a phrase I hate, is a problematic guy. So, they even had a H.P. Lovecraft award for writers. And there was
look, if it makes you guys feel any better,
they changed the award.
He died miserable and
penniless,
without a penny. So,
and I remember they changed the award of him because I think it was a bust of him, and then they turned it into a monster or something instead. So.
Yeah, he doesn't know about all of this fame. He's dead, man. He died alone and penniless and miserable, and that's it. So enjoy what he created and don't worry about it.
He's not gonna make any money off of it, so it's okay. In fact, he can't make any money off his stuff. He's already past 100 years. This shit, so anybody can make any sort of. That's why there's a show called Lovecraft County, which they talk about that stuff too. Which I gotta see. There's a million
fan art.
I gotta see that.
That's
show.
The thing. I don't know where to start with his stuff. All this.
Ironically,
old
Lovecraft
stuff.
County,
It's I don't know.
Ironically, Lovecraft County, the book was written by a white guy, but he was respectful to African Americans, and the show is show run by black writers, so that's good. Anyway,
what is your rating for this?
I liked it.
Movie.
I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. By the way, if you were discovering shit underwater, I would have had a cloud of diarrhea if I saw a woman looking at me underwater like that. Because it flashed me back to I went to as a young child to Disneyland's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride, and you're in this thing that goes underwater, and there were like statues of fish women. I'm sorry, mermaids, and I was freaking out, man. Anyway, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Deciding to fuck your half sister because while you're burnt up, because that's what the a space creature who lives underwater wills to be. What rating would you give Dagon?
I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, 7.5 out of 10. You are a tentacle monster, but you still can appreciate true beauty.
And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Day is for Dagon.
And I hope they bring up charges against this Dagon for taking,
He's very disrespectful, and we do not promote what he did.
The HorrorDeconstruction.